Hi, I'm Jay Iyer, and today I'm going to talk about our Monarch Service Project. Our service project is working with the USDA Teaching Gardens on Hallman Drive to conduct a hands-on learning experience for third graders to learn about insects and nature. My group consisted of 6 members: Grayson Walker, Tiffany Barrett, Braden Bain, Caleb Jimerson, Tyler Dorsett, and Amanda Wiedenhecht. I didn't work with all these people. I actually worked with only Tyler Dorsett and Braden Bain, assisting a group of about 10 to 15 third graders through different stations. I'll go through how it ended up like this in a bit. To help plan this project, we all met with Dr. Herbert Wilson, the organizer of this project, in the USDA building for our orientation. From there, he assigned us our group of 3, which is how I ended up with Tyler and Braden, and then he took us outside to walk us through our 9 stations. After walking us through our stations, we helped set up the teaching garden by planting milkweeds in various spots and putting mulch on the walking paths to help make walking from station to station a lot smoother, and this whole orientation lasted 4 hours from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. The big day came on April 11th, which also happened to be my birthday, and I gotta say, I had a blast. To start out the day, we set up the stations at the garden, then we all gathered together inside the USDA building, and Dr. Wilson assigned each group of 3 volunteers, a group ranging from about 10 to 15 third graders. Each group was accompanied by a teacher, and from there we went outside to each station. Our first station was a metamorphosis activity where we worked with giant Madagascar hissing cockroaches. The students got to observe different cockroaches going through different stages of metamorphosis, and then they had to pick up the cockroach and record its measurements and describe it. These third graders are very brave. They all held cockroaches as they were hissing and crawling all over their tiny hands. I was actually the only one who didn't touch a cockroach, but thank God none of the kids made fun of me for being scared. Our next station was insect hunting. At this station, we went into a small grassy field where a USDA volunteer explained to us the goal of the activity, which was to use a big net to sweep the grass for insects and then record how many and what types of insects each student caught and then draw them. It was funny watching these kids use nets bigger than them to catch insects. I gotta say, these kids caught a lot of insects. Each of them had caught about 15 to 20 different insects. After recording what insects they caught, they released all the insects back into the grass, and then we went to our next station. At our next station, students learned about the various kinds of leaves the garden contained, and then we went to get different leaves, which the students then taped to their workbooks. It was a very straightforward station. After that, we went to a station near the pond where students observed gambusia fish in different tanks and recorded the temperature of the water the fish were swimming in. They really wanted to see what was in the pond, and since we had finished the station early, we went to the pond and the students got to see a bunch of tadpoles. And I've never seen a group of kids so fascinated by tadpoles. Once we completed the station, we walked on a trail through the woods where each student measured the circumference of a marked tree and described how the tree felt. And after this, we had our lunch break at a park across the street. When we got back, our first station was learning about cotton. At this station, a USDA volunteer described what cotton is to the students and then showed them how a gin machine works. Each student recorded the length of a cotton seed and described how the cotton felt. As a bonus, the adult let students collect cotton of their own to put into a bag, which they then could take home at the end of the day. After this, we went to the garden and went to a measurement station where students had to measure various items in the garden, such as the benches, signs, and plants. This is also a very straightforward station, just like the leaf station. After that, we went to our next station where students learned about seed planting. USDA volunteers showed students various kinds of seeds and gave a brief description of all of them. Then the students went to go plant the seeds in the garden. Finally, for our last station, all the students had to do was write a 3-line poem where the first line consisted of 5 syllables, the second line consisted of 7, and the third line consisted of 5. And I gotta say, some of the kids wrote some pretty nice poems. At the end of all of this, students had learned a lot about various plants, insects, and even cotton. I gotta say, I was a little worried that the activities wouldn't run that smoothly because I thought the kids would not be interested in any of these stations and would make our jobs harder. But they were all very enthusiastic and made the project a lot of fun. I hope to continue this project because it's a great way for kids to get acquainted with nature and college kids to get out of the comfort zone and educate the younger generation of kids. If I could help improve this activity, I would add a bee station to teach kids about how important bees are to society, because a lot of kids think that bees are just harmful insects that sting, but they're so much more than that. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my video.